Okay, so let's have a look at how we got these answers. So we're supposed to find f plus g evaluated at 3. So that's going to be f of 3 plus g of 3. And we get these answers from the graph. So f is the blue one. So I'm going to find the point whose x-coordinate is 3. There it is. And that point is 3, 0. Now what a function does is it maps the x-coordinate into the y-coordinate. So f evaluated at 3 is equal to 0. Now g is the red graph. What is g evaluated at 3? I look to find the point whose x-coordinate is 3 on the graph of g. There it is. Now that point has coordinates 3, negative 2. And what a function does, in this case g, a function maps the x-coordinate into the y-coordinate. So g evaluated at 3 is equal to negative 2. And when you add these two things together, 0 plus negative 2, your answer is negative 2. And that's exactly what we got down here. So I'm going to clear this now and look at the next one. The next one wants to know the product of f times g evaluated at negative 1. Well, that's going to be f evaluated at negative 1 times g evaluated at negative 1. Now you look at the graph of f, the blue graph, and find the point whose x-coordinate is negative 1. Here's negative 1, and this point here has x-coordinate negative 1. And that point is negative 1, comma, and what looks to be negative 1/2. And what a function does is it maps the x-coordinate into the y-coordinate. And so f will map negative 1 into negative 1/2. So f evaluated at negative 1 is negative 1/2. Now what is g evaluated at negative 1? Well, g is the red graph. You look at the graph of g and you find the point whose x-coordinate is negative 1. There it is. What are the coordinates of that point? That point has coordinates negative 1, negative 2. Now a function maps the x-coordinate into the y-coordinate. So for g, we have g evaluated at negative 1 is equal to negative 2. And so now what I have to do is take those two numbers and multiply them together. The negative signs cancel, and 1/2 times 2 is 1. And the answer is going to be 1, which matches what we have down here. So I'm going to clear that screen. What is g minus f evaluated at negative 5? Well, it's g evaluated at negative 5 minus f evaluated at negative 5. So I'm going to start with this one. I look at the red graph and find the point whose x-coordinate is negative 5. There it is. That point has coordinates negative 5, 4. And what a function does is it maps the x-coordinate into the y-coordinate. So this red one is g. G evaluated at negative 5 is equal to positive 4. Then I'm copying minus, and now I need to look at the blue graph and find the point on the blue graph whose x-coordinate is negative 5. There it is. That point has coordinates negative 5, negative 2. Now what f does is it maps, or any function maps, the x-coordinate into the y-coordinate. So f evaluated at negative 5 equals negative 2. And then you'll have 4 minus negative 2, which is 4 plus 2, which is 6. And that matches with what's gone there. So I'm going to clear the screen again. And what about this one? F divided by g evaluated at negative 5 is f evaluated at negative 5 divided by g evaluated at negative 5. And from the previous one, f evaluated at negative 5 is going to be negative 2. And g evaluated at negative 5, look for the point with negative 5. And g evaluated at negative 5 is equal to 4. And negative 2/4 reduces to negative 1/2. And that's what is matching there. So I'm going to clear that screen. And I'm going to try and scroll this down if I'm able to. Clear that, and let's look at these. Okay. All right, now what do we want to do all of these? F plus G evaluated at 2 is equal to F of 2 plus G of 2. Now, according to this chart, X is the number inside the parenthesis. So if X is 2, then F evaluated at 2 is going to be -2. So I look and see where these intersect, and they intersect here. Okay, and now let me make some space here. If I want to find G evaluated at -2, G evaluated at 2, then X is equal to 2, and G evaluated at 2 is going to be, where do they meet? -2. So I'm going to have -2 plus -2 is equal to -4. Okay. Now let's look at this one. That is going to be equal to F evaluated at -1 times G evaluated at -1. So the number inside here is my X value. If X is equal to -1, then F evaluated at -1, well, where do these intersect? They intersect at 2. And now what about G evaluated at -1? Well, if X is -1 and I want G evaluated at -1, where do these intersect? They intersect at 0. And 2 times 0 is 0, so my answer is 0. All right. That is going to be equal to G evaluated at -2 minus F evaluated at -2. So my X value is the number inside the parentheses. My X value is -2. So that's the row I want. All right, first I need G evaluated at -2. Where do these meet? They meet here. So that's equal to 2. Then minus, and then what is F evaluated at -2? Well, my X value is -2, and F is there. Where do these meet? So that's going to be -1, and so that's going to be 2 plus 1, which is 3. And then finally, F divided by G evaluated at 0 is going to be F of 0 over G of 0. So my X value is 0. So if I want F of 0, where do these intersect? They intersect at 1. And then if I want G of 0, my X value is 0. And here's G. Where do these intersect? At 1, and 1 divided by 1 is 1. Okay, and that completes this video.